Hi everyone, welcome. Today, I'm bringing you a recap of the Swedish movie, The Confront. Without further ado, let's get started. It all starts with a group of workers traveling to a village in the middle of the forest for a fun weekend. The boss tells them all that they are going to build a new shopping mall in the area, and appoints Jonas as the project manager. They arrive at the village where they will be staying and are greeted by the local workers. A girl named Lena is worried, because she had been sick and needed to avoid stressful situations. They are assigned their rooms, while the chef prepared food for them. But he noticed that there was no gas, so he has to go out to find someone to fix the problem. In the car he hears on the radio that there were people opposing the construction of the mall. Suddenly something hits his car, and he has to get out to check, realizing that they had set a trap on the road, so he goes to investigate in the surrounding area. Meanwhile, the group of workers meets to see an exhibition about the project they are going to carry out. In the forest, the chef finds that there was a kind of booby trap with threads, and from one moment to the next someone attacks him from behind. Lena did not feel comfortable with the group, because she had not been aware of the project for several days. At that moment, her friend Amir comes to support her and to integrate her into the group. Shortly after, at the meeting, a girl named Nadia says that the budgets don't match. Lena wanted to get up to speed and reviews the budgets, realizing that this was a different document than the one she had signed. In this new document they were not financially compensating a farmer, who had his house demolished to start making the mall. Lena says that she does not agree with this new document, but her signature appears on it, so she suspects that they forged her signature. Jonas approaches her to tell her that she may have lost her memory, since she had signed the document before she was absent from the project due to illness. Nadia continues to insist that they must check the budgets properly, and the boss asks her to stop talking about it, to avoid a bad working environment. Another village worker goes to relax for a while, and while drinking a beer, someone runs a sword through him and ends the worker's life. Later, a man in a disguise appears, promoting the mall, and this turns out to be Jonas, who was just trying to motivate his colleagues with the project. The boss goes to talk to him to encourage him, saying that she will allow him to get the first hole and be in the media. Later they are going to have a recreational activity, and the guide asks them to put down their phones to enjoy themselves without distractions. Lena tells Amir that they forged his signature without asking him, and says that they have to compensate that farmer whose house was demolished. But Amir confesses to her that this was not possible, as the farmer had committed suicide after his house was demolished. Later they start their activity, in which they are divided into two groups, and the first one who manages to create a raft to cross the river, wins. While they are at it, the killer who was roaming around steals the backpack with the cell phones and the head of Jonas' costume. The receptionist realizes that the staff is missing, and when she goes to look for them, she finds the murderer. He tries to escape but catches her and ends the receptionist's life in the worst way. The last recreational activity was to use a zipline to cross the lake. They motivate Lena to go on it, but because she doesn't like dangerous situations, Lena abandons the activity. She takes advantage of the fact that her companions are still busy and goes to Jonas' room to look for information on his computer. There he finds files that prove that the whole project is a sham, and he is only doing it to gain an important position in a company. He then steals the information on a memory stick. The guide realizes that the cell phones were stolen and tells them not to worry and continue enjoying themselves. The killer prepares to make a major attack and set several traps in the forest. The boys go to relax for a while in the hot tub. The guide wants to ask her companions about the bag of cell phones, but realizes that no one from the staff was left. There she meets the killer. She tries to escape but unfortunately ends up being killed, just like the other victims. Lena arrives at the jacuzzi and calls Nadia and Amir, who are the most trusted, to tell them what she found out about Jonas and the project, and they could not allow the project to go ahead, because it would only bring economic losses for everyone. So Lena goes to confront Jonas head-on, to tell him that she already knows he forged her signature, and that the mall project should not go ahead. Jonas asks her to go and talk more calmly in the room, and while they are alone, he offers to get her an important position in a company, in exchange for her silence. Lena rejects his offer and tells him to cancel the project, or she will take the memory to the authorities to have him arrested. Meanwhile, the killer shows up at the hot tub, and kills one of the boys who was not important to the plot. The elderly environmentalist woman, seeing this, escapes. The boss goes to the reception because she was hungry. When she arrives she finds the place full of blood, and on the floor she finds many teeth. When she comes out she meets the killer, and he attacks her immediately. Hearing the screams, everyone comes out, and sees the boss hanging on a flag pole, so they start to run. Jonas falls into one of the traps and Lena arrives to help him. They have no escape, so they must use a raft to cross the river. Meanwhile, the others went to the reception looking for help and learn that all the staff are dead. While on the raft, Jonas asks Lena to give him the memory or else he would not help her escape. The girl gives it to him, and he throws it out of the raft so that she must return to the mainland. Because of this, Lena must hide from the murderer in the forest. The others know that they will not receive help, so they take something to defend themselves. Amir decided to take courage and went out to look for Lena, so she saw his flashlight and went with him. Meanwhile the others were planning to escape by car, but the assassin beat them to it and blew it up in front of them. Then, they see that someone was about to open the door, but these were Lena and Amir who managed to return from the forest. The elderly environmentalist woman comes out of hiding and meets Jonas. The woman helps him stitch up his wound, and confesses that the killer is probably there because of her. Since she warned one of her environmentalist friends who was opposed to the mall project that they would be there, and the killer could be her friend. Jonas now doesn't trust the old woman and wants to escape, so he rides off on some kind of motorcycle, leaving the old woman lying on the ground. She, being face to face with the killer, tells him that she already knows that he is her friend, and is going to take off his mask. But when she does, she realizes that it is a person she does not know, and he kills her in an instant. Jonas continues to escape on the motorcycle, and it starts to fail, causing him to fall into the river. The others continue to plan their escape, and in the process, Amir finds a newspaper with testimonies from those affected by the shopping center project. There they realize that the killer is the son of the farmer who committed suicide when his house was demolished, and is now seeking revenge for his father. The group enters the forest to go on the zip line and escape, but they encounter the killer, causing them to become separated. Nadia confronts the killer and manages to escape through the forest. The elders go to hide in a cabin, while Lena and Amir get to the zip line to cross the lake. The killer had already foreseen that they would use the zip line, so he set a trap for those who would use it, so Amir must sacrifice himself to save Lena. The killer finds the elders and they summon the courage to confront him. Lena escapes through the forest, and finds the place where the killer left the bag with the mobile phones, so she searches for hers and calls the police. Shortly after, when the killer is about to kill the old woman, the old man comes and sets fire to the killer's mask. He immediately dips his mask in the water, and returns to finish off the old couple, but suddenly Nadia appears from behind and cuts off his head, killing him instantly. Soon after, Lena notices that the police are already arriving, but they don't see her, and Jonas appears to attack her. He is ready to kill her so that she won't reveal the information that harms him, so Lena has to finish him off. In the end Lena ends up killing him. The police arrive on the scene, and Lena arrives in the village to receive help, along with the other survivors. And that's how this story ends. Comment on what you thought of the film. Without further ado, make sure you are subscribed to keep receiving movie reviews. That's all from my side.